I'm Vanita, the founder of Blink Brow Bar, and today I've got a very special guest who is a doyen of fashion and has worked for many iconic publications. She's written books, fashion director at Telegraph, and I'm dying to talk to her all about beauty, fashion, lifestyle. And it's not just her we've also got Mabel on the brow sofa with us.
Can you see Mabel?
So Lisa, the first question I want to ask you is, dying to know, what are the trends that you foresee for the autumn with beauty and fashion?
Trends move very slowly now. I don't even know if we can call them trends. It's more like evolutions. And I think that's fantastic because obviously fast fashion is very bad for the planet. There's no place for it really when you've got a cost of living crisis. So I just think, find your style and...
Anything goes then?
Anything goes.
Fantastic
Wear it with
news.
Conviction and you're there.
I think that's good news for everyone, and I do agree that it's really nice to get old pieces out that you love and just make them work.
And I'm not, this isn't just a platitude, but I think it's really much more, especially as you get older, what really matters is that you find the shapes and the colours that work for you. You'll always find something that you can marry up with a so-called trend.
Yes, and actually I was going to ask you, do you think as women get older that they should change the way they dress?
Well, in theory, I suppose that's the perceived wisdom, isn't it? But when I look at my favourite picture of me is I'm pretty much wearing what I'm wearing now. A blouse and a pair of wide trousers. Always loved simplicity. So, yeah, you have to tweak it because your body actually really does change. Even if you stay the same weight, you know, you maybe sink a bit with the best will in the world. I mean, it just changes. You know, this body positivity movement's pretty amazing. And... you know, this idea that you don't have to look like a catwalk model to look good in clothes, I think is so refreshing. Some of those pictures from 10 years ago in magazines, I just think, what were we thinking?
Do you have a favourite brow era? Because I always think brows go with fashion.
Yeah, well, I mean, for me, probably Brooke Shields. The caterpillars.
Yeah.
Because my dear mum said to me in the 70s when I didn't look right in the 70s because it was all about having these very thin bow-shaped lips, thin eyebrows, and I didn't have thin anything actually. And my mum said, don't take any notice of them at school about your lips. Brigitte Bardot has got big lips. So that was an incredible confidence booster. Didn't know who Brigitte Bardot was, but soon discovered. And she did one thing: do not overpluck your brows because they won't grow back. And
you didn't. I
didn't.
don't think, because you have great brows.
So thank you.
Which
Mum.
is also unusual because that's one of the biggest concerns a lot of our customers have.
I know. Well, I do slap on a bit of serum. Never liked the thin brows. I remember when Kate Moss got the brows done, thinking, oh, I hope they grow back.
But skinny brows are on the catwalk, I think.
Yeah, no, they
this
are.
Autumn, so
they are.
they're a
Don't
thing.
do
But
it.
you're a busy woman.
How
I
do swear by gua sha, like
Oh,
absolutely.
okay.
I think it really does work. I mean, people. Do you know what? People never believe something works if it's cheap. And if it's something that you can do yourself. There's something about humans, we feel if we spend a lot of money on it, it's going to be more effective. Nah, gua sha works.
Yeah.
But you've got to do it.
I know. I just think simple massaging, we do brow pinching, circulation.
All that. I don't mind lines and wrinkles. And I think some of the most beautiful old women have got lots of lines and wrinkles, but they've just got toned features. They've got amazing cheekbones, bone structure. But you can help all that with the gua sha. You really can. Wrinkles, schminkles.
Yeah. And Lisa, I want to congratulate you on your OBE that you got this.
Thank you. You've got something as well, haven't you?
Yep. I mean, yours is extra special.
No.
Well,
it is. No, they are very special. Do you know, some people said to me, oh, I'd never accept one. And I thought I'd be like that. You get that letter. You accept it.
I was thrilled.
Take the compliment.
And so what's next? What's you know?
Oh,
I mean,
international stardom. It's a question I often ask myself, Vanita.
Well,
I do love my job. That's the problem.
I know. I've never really had a plan either. You know, I think sometimes you just go where fortune takes you.
I do think so. Just work hard and try and do what you do really well, and then fortune will take you to a good place. Unless that sounds really too naive. But, you know, there is that thing of, oh, the harder I work, the luckier I get. Funny that. You know, that you do have to work hard. You do have to be kind of nice. And just really listen to, find people that you really admire and sort of pick their brains, or if you can't get access to them, see how they do what they do.
I think you're absolutely right. That's why I actually love doing thread talks on the Espresso, for just chatting with very inspirational people from different walks of life.
Well, also, you know, people said to me 20 years ago, oh, don't you get bored doing fashion? Which I found so patronising, because fashion is about everything. You know, politics. I've interviewed politicians, I've interviewed sports people, I mean, my job has taken me everywhere, and I get access to so many incredible people. And now I don't get bored with it, because I listen to what people are saying, and you always learn something, don't you?
I think with fashion, it's, you know, I always find it amazing how when you look at someone, you can sort of tell what kind of personality they're going to have according to how they dress, which part of London they come from. So, you know, and what their political beliefs might be.
I'm really interested, Vanita, you said earlier about how brows follow fashion. So what's going on at the moment with the thin brows? Is this back to the 70s again, or the 90s?
I think it's the 90s. I think it's a Kate Moss thing. Yeah. I think Lila Moss, Kate's daughter, is sort of sporting that very thin look. On some of these models, your cheekbones get lifted with the thin eyebrows and the high arch, but then there is the danger that you do have to grow those brows back at some time, or you may want to. And as we all know, they're so precious.
I'm fascinated by the 30s, you know, and because the makeup that was obviously so different then, and the techniques and what was available. But I think they would blot out their eyebrows sometimes, wouldn't they? And then just paint them on.
Yes. In fact, they did that in the Elizabethan age.
Yes.
With Elizabeth, where they actually put powder on them to sort of just make them very, very pale. So it does change, and it keeps changing. But I think now I feel that women feel a lot more confident about having brows where they want them to express their individuality, their style.
Definitely.
And don't have to have a certain
I mean,
look.
in this, you know, sort of 70s and 80s, there was fashion and the trends, and that was all that was available. So it was really hard. If you didn't like that look, or if it didn't suit you, you were a bit stuck. Whereas now I really do think, you know, you can wear the long skirt, or the flares, or the skinnies, or the midi and the mini, and the bodycon and the volume. It's a really good time.
Carry it with confidence, and you're fine.
Yeah, and just enjoy it.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Lisa. It
Pleasure.
has been insightful and great fun chatting to you as always.
Lovely.
And
really
Mabel,
enjoyed it. Mabel's been really well behaved.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.